You should relapse. No, you shouldn't. Guys, today we're going to talk about that little voice inside your mind who always tells you to relapse. You know that moment when you're laying down, maybe scrolling through Instagram, maybe watching some YouTube, boom, you get an urge, and then all of this mental chatter just begins, and that little voice seems more powerful than any other voice in your mind at that moment, and it just tells you to relapse, and you listen to it more often than not and just relapse. So let's talk about this voice, because I think it's very important to acknowledge it, because you know it's actually not that it's just that only voice that happens in your mind before a relapse and when you get an urge. It's there are two voices. There's the voice like the higher self, your higher self, your ideal self. It just tells you, don't relapse, man. You know your reason for doing NoFap. You know what you want to achieve from this journey. Don't relapse. It just tells you that. But that voice, that other voice that tells you to relapse, why does it win most of the time? That's the question. So I think we must answer this question. And by answering it, it's more we have to talk about it, because I think it's very important. When you get an urge, you need to acknowledge it. You don't just, it's an urge, okay, whatever, quickly, some say just do some push-ups, pull-ups, do some exercise, cold shower, but that's just delaying the problem and not just dealing with it just like that. So when that little voice tells you to relapse, you have to make that other voice, the disciplined you, just that voice more higher. You need to start listening to that voice as well, because he actually is that little voice inside your mind, and that guy, that the devil who tells you to relapse, is just now screaming inside your mind. So you need to shift that dominance state for the other voice. So I've noticed why this happens. More often it happens because, for me, I think it's very important to also take care of your body physically. So if you eat pizza, if you eat junk food, sugar, ice cream, all of this stuff, it kind of gives that voice who tells you to relapse more power. I've noticed that. Maybe you guys have noticed that as well, but it gives him more power. It's like, oh, I feel good, but it's kind of wearing off, that sugar high, that carbs high, and then it just makes you weaker, and then it's much more easier for it to convince you to relapse. I've just noticed that. Not sure how it actually works and if it's true, but other things, maybe not doing something in your life properly, maybe not working, maybe not having that work-life balance. A lot of these things, they stack up, and they just give that voice more power. But I think we should start listening to the ideal self, that God, let's say. That's that thing where there's a devil on your shoulder and an angel, not God, angel. Yeah, I think so. We should start listening to that voice more, because it's always there. It's not that when you get an urge, why do you think it's so painful to have an urge? Emotionally, it's painful because you can't do it. That's that voice, that ideal self. You can't do it, but that little snake is just telling you, you have to do it. So that's where the pain comes from, from that struggle, and that's a good thing. Many men who don't even do NoFap, they just do it unconsciously, don't even think about it, whatever. I'm just busting up. That's it. So I think that's very important. If you have that struggle, that's very good. If you relapse, you should feel ashamed, and if you avoid the urge, avoid the urge, but deal with it, then you should feel proud, that's the contrast. So that's the thing with that little voice. So we need to start listening to the disciplined self. And how do we do it? I think one of the ways we could do it is, again, start taking care of ourselves physically, start having these physical wins, working out, eating right. I think that lifts you up. Again, maybe just working on something, succeeding in something, maybe even just small wins. Those cold showers, let's say, you managed to do a cold shower 3 days in a row, let's say, oh, that's a good win. You already feel more powerful, and you start to develop that voice, the power for that ideal self voice, Oh yeah, and another thing that I've noticed on my NoFap journey is that I've always tried to just avoid the urge. Well, not always. I've started to, like a couple of months ago, started to just kind of notice it, try to deal with it like that. I think that's a better way, but it's more often, I think, for you and for me, when it happens, when you're scrolling through YouTube or Instagram or whenever on internet, you get an ad, a recommendation, by the algorithm or something like that, where there's like a girl, maybe a naked girl or something like that. If you're in I don't know, forums, not sure, but you get it. And many guys just tell me, oh, I get this urge, I get this massive urge, and then that leads me to relapse. What I've noticed is that many of you and myself included, we just quickly scroll down. We just, oh my God, I've seen the naked girl, just so that we hope that it wouldn't trigger the urge, but that's false. It already stays in your mind, and if you actually just look at it and just quickly scroll, you give it more thought of that post, of that ad, of that picture, because you've already, I've noticed, because if you just scroll through randomly, you don't notice any of those posts, and you just don't care, and they don't trigger anything. So what you should do is not avoid it. You should deal with it. If you see that ad, look at it, look at it. It's just pixels on the screen, it's just a girl. She's not real. She doesn't, that little picture doesn't have control over me. That's what you should tell yourself. It doesn't have control over me. Okay, yeah, you can't escape everything. If you're just you have a severe porn and masturbation addiction, and you just started NoFap, of course, I guess you should take a break from the internet for a couple of months. But if this is part of your lifestyle, if NoFap is part of your lifestyle, you should not avoid these things, because they will always appear. It's impossible. You just go on the internet, you will see ads for that. Maybe not one day, maybe another day, you can't control it, how it happens and when, It helps, of course, you just unfollow all those Instagram models, because they don't give you any valuable content in your life. But if you just scroll, boom, you get a hot girl, a model, whatever, look at her, just, okay, so what? It's a picture, it doesn't have control over me. Tell that to yourself. Like, I've noticed, when I do that, when I get something like that, when there's a trailer of a movie where there's like nudity scenes on it, just look at it, that's it. Just look at it. No control over me and my decision, and I'm not gonna relapse. Just look at it. If you just take that second to acknowledge it, that voice, it just disappears. At least for me, that's what happens, and I really hope that it would happen for you as well, because I don't know, it's just facing that thing just really helps. So that's one piece of advice there. So yeah, I guess that was everything I wanted to share with this video. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoy my content and you want to see more, please leave a like and subscribe for more weekly self-improvement content. Also, if you want to join Disciples of Life, which is my Discord community server, you can do that by going to the description, and there's a link to my Patreon, and it's €3.50 for a month. And there's 11 of us right now in that group, and we all help each other. That group is mostly for NoFap, but we have other channels: jiu-jitsu, working out, philosophy, productivity. We have all these channels that if you want, you hop in, ask a question, maybe share your story, and we all help each other, we all lift each other up, and we all use each other's advice. So I would really recommend for you to join us. And if you don't want to do that and you still want to support my channel, there's also a PayPal link in the description down below, and you're gonna find my Instagram there. So if you want to follow me there, you can do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching this video again, and stay on your journey.